I called into another radio show and I said Patrick Mahomes is overrated. And they said, overrated? What are you talking about? He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He could be the best talent we've ever seen. This and that. And then they're talking about, people have been talking about, will the Chiefs go undefeated? Will the Chiefs go undefeated? They lose their next game to Derek Carr in the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
This dude's just overrated. He's got the second best coach in the game behind Bill Belichick. Best tight end in the game, Travis Kelce. Tyreek Hill, just an absolute weapon. And I think this dude's like literally, they put him up there as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And his like second or third year, whatever it is. Absurd. The dude's overrated. He's a good quarterback, but the way they talk about him, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. He's like a human cheek to a bit. It's so annoying the way these people overreact. What do you guys think?
I don't think he's overrated, but I think they do blow him up to be God's gift to the world. This is a guy that's only been in the league for about 2.5 years. He needs to prove himself. I know he won an MVP. I know he won a Super Bowl, and not many quarterbacks have ever done that. Not many quarterbacks have ever gotten $500 million either. So he got a huge contract because of what he has done the last 2 seasons. I do feel that a lot of people blow him out of proportion. Is he better than Aaron Rodgers? I would say no, because Aaron Rodgers has been doing this consistently for over 10 seasons. So when you try to put him in the pool of a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers, these guys have been doing it consistently for 10 years. This guy's only been in the league for 3 years. So you're absolutely right. A lot of people blow Patrick Mahomes and conclude that he is the greatest quarterback or one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's not even in the top 10. He hasn't even come close to that yet. There are so many other quarterbacks in the past you have to pass. The Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses, the Peyton Mannings, the Johnny Unitas's, the Bart Starr. There's so many good quarterbacks. To say that Patrick Mahomes in 3 years is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, it's outrageous. It's crazy. Do I think he's overrated? I don't think he's overrated. I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I just think they blow him out of proportion.
Yeah, and it's Kevin, it's another thing with the media, too, now, the way everyone wants to hype up young players, especially. They don't want the new, flashy players, especially for a team like the Chiefs, who have had quarterback issues for a while throughout their franchise. They want that new, flashy guy. That's why they're going to hype it up more. If Patrick Mahomes retires today, he's not a Hall of Famer because he only played 3 years, something like that. Could he be? Yeah, absolutely. And I think talent-wise, he's the best one right now. But, again...
Talent-wise, he's the best one who? What, a quarterback in the league?
I think talent-wise, he is.
No, he's not.
Okay, but
not even close.
Even if you want to nitpick on who it is, it's fine. I'll give you Wilson. I'll give you Rodgers, whatever. And I think peak Aaron Rodgers definitely was better than him too. But regardless, you're right.
Aaron Rodgers right now is better than him.
Okay, but still, the point is, Kevin, I think it's more of people blowing them up because of the wanting to blow up a young player more than anything else. He still is very talented, and he was not the reason the Chiefs lost yesterday. The Chiefs lost 40-32.
Well, also, Kevin, they also want to say they want to find the next face for the NFL, and they think Patrick Mahomes, the Kermit look-alike voice, and who he is personality-wise, and the way everywhere he goes, everywhere he shows up, everybody loves the kid. So of course they're going to blow him out of proportion. Do I think you could put him in the same boat as guys like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Drew Brees? No, I don't think he's anywhere close to them yet. Maybe 10 years down the road, we can talk about Patrick Mahomes. We could also see Patrick Mahomes like Alex Smith or even Dak Prescott yesterday, break an ankle and never the same quarterback to step on the field. So I do believe that you're right. I think people are blowing him out of proportion. But to say that he's overrated and he's not a top quarterback, and I think that's being a little foolish, just a little bit.
Yeah, when I say overrated, I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback. He could be even the best in the league, but the way people talk about him, that's what I mean is the overrated part. But I agree. I think he's one of the best in the league, but he also has a lot of talents around him. I think he's got one of the best head coaches, Andy Reid, a lot of weapons around him on offense, so that's what you got to take into consideration.
Kevin, let me ask you a question. I love Andy Reid. I think he's a great coach. How many championships before last year did he win?
None.
He won none. So as good as Andy Reid has been over the years and how many good quarterbacks he's had, and I rooted for Andy Reid with the Eagles. I'm a Jet fan, but my second favorite team over the years was the Eagles, and the reason why is I was a Donovan McNabb fan. Look how good Donovan McNabb is. He's a Hall of Famer. He will be a Hall of Famer. And look at the quarterbacks that he's coached. He never won a Super Bowl until he had Patrick Mahomes. So, again, Andy Reid's a great coach, one of the great offensive minds we've ever seen. But to say that the great Andy Reid, as great as he is, he's only won one Super Bowl. I mean, Bill Belichick's won 6. I mean, Chuck Noll won 4, I think. I mean, there's so many people. Walsh won 4. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many great coaches that won so many Super Bowls. Andy Reid's only won 1. So there are quite a few coaches right now in the NFL. Mike McCarthy, who's won 1 Super Bowl, and he's now coaching another team like the Cowboys. So as great as we could say Andy Reid is, he's only won 1 Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has won 1 in 2 years. So I mean, when you're talking about greatness on who's better and who's greater at their position, I would say Patrick Mahomes right now is greater at his position because he's won a Super Bowl already. Yes, with Andy Reid. But that offense.
One more point.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
One more point before I head out.
Go ahead.
Seattle versus Minnesota. What? People are giving him a hard time for going for on 4th and inches. That's not the play that I'm upset about. I don't have a problem with him going for it and trying to close out the game because if he doesn't, they're coming back and scoring either way. They're going to tie that game up. Russell Wilson's going to tie that game up. The problem I have is the all-out blitz on 4th and 10, and all you have to do, all-out blitz, and they got like 35 yards. That was a game changer. You blitzed them, took advantage, and you gave up like 35, 40 yards. What's your thoughts on that play? Because people have given him a hard time for going for instead of kicking the field goal. That's not what I was upset about. What I was upset about was the blitz on 4th and 10 and allowing them to convert, pretty much secure the game with that big play. What do you think, guys? Take it easy.
Well, here's a good answer to this. Zimmer is known to do that. He's always known to blitz and go after the quarterback, especially if it's 4th and 10 and he's trying to keep his team in. His strength is his defense. Zimmer knows that. His strength, he's a defensive coordinator. He likes to go after the quarterback. He likes to, go all out blitz. Was he wrong going all out blitz at the time that he did? Absolutely. That's not why they lost the game. The reason why they lost the game is because they gave Russell Wilson a little bit too much time on the field. If you know Russell Wilson, you have the ball, you're in the lead, you're leading the game for the last 5 minutes of the game, all the way down to the 2-minute mark, and you have the chance to run the ball, run the clock, make them use their timeouts. Why didn't you do it efficiently, with the 5-minute mark? They were. The problem with the Minnesota, and I picked the Vikings to win that game. I did. I thought the Vikings, it was going to be a close game, and I know the Vikings needed that game to win. And Kirk Cousins, at some points of the game, outplayed Russell Wilson. Okay? He outplayed him. But the problem was, it's coaching. It is coaching. It was Zimmer versus Pete Carroll, the oldest coach in the NFL, and Pete Carroll, against one of the most devastating blitz packaging defensive minds in football. And Paul, knowing that Pete Carroll is a defensive minded coach, he outsmarted the trigger happy blitz package Zimmer. And that's what really happened. I just think that at 5 minutes left of the game, they should have ran the ball more. They didn't run the ball more. They should have kept the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands. And to me, that's what cost them the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think going for it on 4th down, being that the run game was actually effective for most of the game, even when Dalvin Cook got hurt, their backups were playing well too. I didn't mind them going for it either. It's always a tough decision. You want to go up 8, kick the field goal, make sure they can only tie it. It's a tough choice. But the way that running game was, if it was struggling, I would understand where you're coming from, where you kick the field goal. But I have no problem with them going forward the way the running game was going. And I completely agree with you on the blitz. Why are you blitzing so much on 4th and 10, especially when your corners are young and inexperienced? experience. You want to have other linebackers and safeties that could help him rather than going in and all-out blitz. The other thing I blame, too, Kevin, for that is the play call on the two-point conversion. Why are they doing a quarterback draw with Kirk Cousins? That made no sense either. I would have done something a little differently, like against a goal line defense like that, running with... Not that Cousins is super slow, but...
They're going to be looking for a new coach, too.
Yeah,
Zimmer is going to be gone too at the end of the season. This team was supposed to be a Super Bowl contending team. They gave Kirk Cousins an extension a year ago, a 2-year extension. They expect Kirk Cousins to go out there and win a Super Bowl. And you can't blame Kirk Cousins for this because he's had good seasons over there in Minnesota. It's just he didn't have a good relationship with Stephon Diggs. He goes over to Buffalo. He becomes a superstar wide receiver. Thielens over there. He wants to be the number one guy. He's having problems on and off the field with Kirk Cousins. Maybe it's coaching. Maybe they need the right guy in there to calm down Kirk Cousins. Maybe Kirk Cousins doesn't get along with players. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that locker room. But obviously something is not working because that team is too talented to be 1-4.
Right.
Okay?
And especially with what they have in the front seven, too. Their secondary's weak. We knew that coming into the year. Outside of Harrison Smith, they really don't have much. They have a bunch of rookie corners. They have Yannick Ngakoue. They have Daniil Hunter, who are two talented young pass rushers. They shouldn't have to blitz as much as they do, Kevin, and I think that's what you were getting at. Why trust your raw pass rush, your four-man rush? Maybe you could bring another linebacker, somebody like an Eric Wilson, who's a good pass-rushing linebacker, but you're right. You shouldn't have to blitz all out and trust your guys in man coverage, especially with the talent of the Seahawks receivers, too. Lockett was shut down for the most part, but he's still a good receiver, and Metcalf had himself a game.
Oh, Metcalf is fantastic, and I think Russell Wilson's blowing him out of proportion, trying to compare his skills to Jerry Rice, which is ridiculous. I mean, Jerry Rice is the greatest football player to ever step on the field. To try to compare him, let's see Metcalf stay healthy and play consistently 10 years and do what Jerry Rice did, and then we can talk about comparing and contrasting the great to the great Jerry Rice.